In this video, we'll go over how to simulate a mechanical system. So let's look at a simple mass spring damper system. So we start with a mass, it has a spring and a damper. And the differential equation for this would come out to be, let's say the displacement is y. It would be my double dot plus py dot plus ky equal to, if there's no forcing function, we'll just say it's 0. Okay. To create a simulation, we need to numerically solve this, and we can use any of the numerical solvers that we learned in the numerical methods course. So we have the Euler equation, the Hans method, the Ranskata methods, and so on. Okay, but in order to be able to solve them this way, we need to have a system of first order ordinary differential equations. Okay, the one we have right now is a second order ordinary differential equation. So we need to first convert it to a system of first order differential equations, and this is where state space comes in. State space. Okay, so we start by first mapping our states and variables. Okay, so what are the variables in our system? We have the position, y, which is position. Then we have y dot, which is our velocity. Okay, and so when the states are numbered, so we say x1 equal to y and x2 equal to y dot. Okay, and the way you write it, so we can express any system as a differential equation, or you can transfer it into the state space. In state space, the way you write it is this entire thing, your states will be represented using one vector variable x, let's say. Then you can write in state space the same system as x dot, it's a first order derivative, is a function of your states. Okay, and sometimes if you have any kind of inputs, you'll have u, so u would be something like f of t in here. Okay, so in our case we just have x, so we just have our change of states over time as a function of the states. Okay, so we can represent it in state space this way. Okay, once you have it in this way, you can then apply any of the numerical solver, which I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so the first step is to define your differential equation first. So you look for the highest order, so this is y double dot, so you write it as y double dot equal to, and then rewrite your equation as minus b y dot minus k y, then you have to move the m over there, so divided by m divided by m. Okay, this will be the highest order derivative in your equation. Okay, but we need to write this in terms of your states. Okay, so how does that happen? So this is going to be what is y double dot? Okay, y double dot is the derivative of your velocity, so this is going to be x2, which is your velocity, state velocity, x2 dot. Okay, so now you can see how we converted a second order to first order. Okay, so x dot equal to is going to be minus b over m. Then look for the state that defines y dot. Y dot is your velocity, that's x2, so you write here x2, and k over m times y. What is y? Y is x1. Okay, so k over m times x1. Okay, so we just went from a second order equation to a first order equation based on the states. Okay, now how do you put all this together? So what is x dot? X dot is the derivative of each state, x1 dot and x2 dot. Once you define this, that completes the state space. Okay, so like we already found, x2 dot is this one. Let me write that out here in terms of your states. So b over m x2 minus k over m x1. Okay, how about x1 dot? What is x1 dot? Okay, so x1 is y, so x1 dot would be y dot. In terms of your state, what is it? So this is in terms of the variable. In terms of the state, we already have a state for y dot, which is x2. Okay, so this will be x2. And that completes your state space transformation from differential equation to state space. Okay, so let's see how we can solve the system in Python now. So let's go to Python. We need to first import the numpy package. So import. We also need to use one of the solvers called solve APE, this one. So solve initial value problems. This can let you use any of the numerical techniques to solve a differential equation. Okay, and you can use any of the methods that you learned. So let's try to use it here. So to import it, it's okay. So for this function to work, the solve IVP, you have to first define your derivative function and define the time range, the initial values, and the method. So let's do that here. So for our equation to work, we need the constants. And then we have to define our equations. Okay, so it has to be in a specific format. So the function that the solver is looking for, the first input is supposed to be the time vector, and the second input is the states. Okay, so in our case, we'll just say time t, and states, we'll define it as x. And what this is supposed to return is the derivative of the states, dot of x. Okay, so now x, you can, the way we define it is x is the position and the velocity. Okay, x1 and x2. Okay, these are our states. This is how we defined it, right? We can unpack it here. We can say x1 and x2 are my states. Okay, and so basically x, you can think of x as like a list of two values, x1 and x2. Okay, and so by writing this, we can unpack it here into x1 and x2, so it's easy for us to write our equations. So what is the first equation? So we need to now define how dot x is. Okay, it's a list. What is the first value? The first value is x2, so you can just write here x2, and the second value is this equation here, minus b over m x2 minus k over m x1. So minus b over m times x2 minus k over m times x1. Okay, that's it. That's the way the states are changing, and that's the equation defined. So now we have set up our equations. Now all that is left is to just run your solve function, solve initial value problem, and you give it your equations. And again, this has to be in the specific format, so you cannot play around with this. You cannot have x comma t. This will not work. Okay, this has to be t comma x. And then you have the t-span. T-span tells you from what to solve. So I'll start at time 0 to time 10, and then it's initial value problem, so you have to provide it with your initial value. Let me define it as y0, and y0 will be the initial x value. So let's say we moved it to like position 0.5 meters. Initial velocity is 0, and this would be your solution. And if you run it, it'll tell you the solver ran successfully, and it'll give you like a time vector and the positions and the velocities. There are two states it's solving. It's solving the positions, which is the first column in y, and the velocity, which is the second column or second row in y. Okay, and you can extract these from the solution here. You can just say t equal to solution dot t and y equal to solution and y equal to, so you have the two variables, so y and let's say the velocity. So position and velocity, these are the two columns inside y, or the two lists inside y. I'll show you a preview of the values. Okay, now to make a plot out of this, you can use the matplotlib library .pyplot, and just say plt.plot t comma position, and that's your position plot. And let's see, yeah, so here you can see the number of points that were in the solution is very low. You can see that by enabling the marker and line. Okay, so the distance between them is chosen by the solver. So you can see the distance between the first 2 points is small, the next step size is large. Okay, if you don't want this to happen and you want to have control over the discretization of the time vector, you can create your own time vector here. So right before I do this, there is another variable that you can set called the t eval, and this you can put your time vector here, and you can create your own time vector here by saying np.linspace. Let's say from 0 to 10, but I want like 500 or 100 points in between. Okay, this will increase the time for the solver, but this should give you a better resolution or better control over the solution. So you see, you have all these points now. You run this. Okay, so if you feel that your solution is a bit jagged or it's not smooth, you can do this. Okay, again, this will increase the solution time, but this is what it is. Okay, and you can also plot the velocity instead. That's the velocity. Okay, now if I go back to position, why do we do simulation? Simulation allows you to change parameters and see the results immediately. Rather than building an experimental setup, you can change the parameters here. For example, let's say what happens if I reduce the damping to 0.3. Okay, you can just run the simulation, and you can see the oscillations are slightly larger now. Okay, they don't die out quickly. Okay? Don't forget to label your plot. So plt.xlabel, and you can also enable the grid this way. Okay, and to save the plot, you can either you can type in plt.savefig and give it a file name, so position.png, for example, and you should be able to see the file. You should be able to see the file here, position.png. Okay, if you feel that there is if the figure is getting cropped somewhere, or the spacing is not correct, you can come back here, and right before you save the file, you can say plt.tight layout. Okay, this should take care of all the padding around the figure and make the cropping a bit better. So now if I open it has taken out the extra spaces, the cropping is done better. Okay, and this is still a raster image, so if you zoom in, you can see like it's pixelated here. If you want a better graph, you can save it as a svg file, which is a vector file, and this is how a vector file looks, and it's much better in your report. Okay, and I hope this helps, and thank you.